What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have been in pursuit of Bojan Bogdanovic. Yesterday, there were reports that the Lakers even submitted an offer of very likely Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and a protected first-round pick. How heavy protection, we don't know, but we know that it was protected, and then Detroit wanted it unprotected first. Now, obviously, the Lakers have to weigh their options. They have other options out there. Spurs deal is a potential. Hornets have been linked to them. You have the Knicks right now who are trying to work out some sort of deal. The Lakers want to get Cam Reddish, maybe even consider Evan Fournier. So the Lakers are still doing their due diligence. They're still trying to look for trades, which is good, right? Because Rob Pelinka gave December 15th as the initial start date for when he wants to start pulling off trades if a trade is available. And one thing that I said is I hope he's not just, sitting on his hands until the 15th. Hopefully he's doing his due diligence now. So come the 15th, we can get a deal done or, relatively soon before that. I think personally, if we're going to get a deal done, I think it gets done before Christmas. I think we get a deal done, somewhere in the 15 to 20 range. I don't know that for certain. It's just my guess based on just the information we have and just Rob Pelinka in general. If we don't do anything by then, I don't think we do anything until probably the trade deadline, which at that point could be kind of scary for the Lakers. But nonetheless, obviously, Bojan Bogdanovic would be a great target, right? He's a player that could really come in, make a huge impact for the Lakers, play either forward spot, and is just shooting the lights out. 50, 40, 90 this season. He's shooting 44% from three. The Lakers, one of the biggest things that they lack is three-point shooting and just having a true shooter on the team. And Bojan would really help in that regard. It takes so much pressure off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis because the Lakers are just so score-heavy on those two, right? All the burden is on the shoulders. And I understand, most teams that have multiple stars, they're very star reliant, right? You're very reliant on your two superstars. But the difference is that those teams usually have at least another, 2-3 guys that can help handle the workload every single night. Every team kind of has that third guy that you see and you're like, okay, that's their third guy. Or it's by committee, right? A lot of times, the Celtics, it's almost a different guy every night that's the third guy, right? But you got Marcus Smart, you got Al Horford, right? You got guys that consistently can handle that load. But when you look at the Lakers, it's Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, who are both great, but they're so young. They're, they don't have the experience. They've never been asked to handle this load for a team. And if you're a real contender, then you'd love somebody like Bojan Bogdanovic. But it looks like Detroit doesn't want to trade Bojan Bogdanovic at all. And there were even little murmurs about this yesterday. But now we're seeing reports today that basically the Pistons don't really want to trade Bojan Bogdanovic, that they actually extended him to keep him unless, of course, all things can change. All players are movable at the right price. And that's probably why Detroit threw out we want an unprotected first, right? Because we don't want to trade him. But if we can get, just overvalue for him, then sure, why not? Here, take it. But here's exactly what was said. So according to James L. Edwards III, who he writes for The Athletic, he's Detroit's beat writer, the Los Angeles Lakers are one of multiple teams who have shown interest in Bogdanovic, even offering a future protected first-round pick. But the Pistons seemingly want to keep him in hopes of turning a corner over the next year. I also added, as for Bey, Saddiq Bey, Edwards calls him gettable at the right price, although it is uncertain precisely what the Pistons would want in return. Bey has been moved into a bench role this season, with Edwards noting that Detroit prefers to utilize two true bigs in the front court, leaving Bey in a position spot since power forward is his best position. So, starting with Bojan Bogdanovic, and then we'll dive into Saddiq Bey here in a moment. But Bojan Bogdanovic, I guess on the bright side, at least they don't want to trade him to anybody, period. There's several teams that have came in and asked to trade for Bojan, and it's kind of been the same answer for everybody. So the good thing is it doesn't seem like it's just the Lakers tax or we don't want to help the Lakers, which is good, because we saw that before. I mean, we saw that with this player and the Utah Jazz, right? The Utah Jazz were trying to get, 2 firsts and, their firstborn child, and he wanted a sacrifice from the fandom. Like, it was just insane. Like, all the stuff that they wanted for Bojan Bogdanovic and, a couple other pieces, but also Bojan Bogdanovic. And then the thing is that, like, they end up giving him away for, Kelly Olynyk, Saban Lee. Cool. So you just wanted to just fleece the Lakers is basically what you're trying to do. And to be fair, it was Danny Ainge, so I guess it makes some sense. But Detroit's looking at it as like, their hope is that next season they can turn the corner. They're a tanking team. They land Victor Wembanyama or something like that. They might be good enough to be competitive next year, right? Maybe not necessarily a contender, but maybe be competitive. They also, based on some of the things that we saw yesterday, Detroit looks at him as like a leader, a locker room guy, and also a mentor for some of these younger guys, and really want to keep him around to try to help grow and develop these young guys. That's why they gave him that extension, stuff like that. And then the hope is next season they're actually pretty good, and Bojan Bogdanovic isn't just alone out there as like the main guy, the main scorer. So it does make a lot of sense to Detroit. Like, obviously, I would love him on the Lakers, and obviously the Lakers really need somebody. If they don't trade for him, then they need somebody else. But I guess on the bright side, at least you don't have to worry about him going on like the Suns or something. You know what I mean? Like, as long as he's on Detroit, okay. Like, it sucks we're not gonna get him because we would love to have him, and he would make us a lot better. But it's like, okay, well, he's not going to like Memphis or Phoenix or something like that to where it's like, now we're in trouble, right? Like, that's good, right? So, if as long as Detroit doesn't like pull a fast one and trade him elsewhere, then at least like a contender, then good. I'm all for it. Keep him on Detroit. And if you're the Lakers, like now you kind of, I think you just move on and look for the next player. But things could change. Detroit's in no rush to trade Bojan. Right? None. They don't have to. They have him locked up for the next 2 years. So I'm sure they'll be patient. I'm sure they'll wait. I'm sure they'll do the due diligence. If you're the Lakers, you got to try to find other deals and, keep a feeler out on Detroit and just say, hey, that deal's on the table if that's what you want. Saddiq Bey is gettable. This is something I've talked about on several occasions, and I get people all the time. They're like, where did Saddiq Bey come from? Like, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, if you just looked and spent 5 minutes looking into something, you'd see that Saddiq Bey's been available for some time and that he's gettable. Like, that came from a guy that is an insider for Detroit. Saddiq Bey, they don't really have room for Saddiq Bey. They don't really have a spot for him. His production, everything's just completely dropped this season because he's not getting the opportunity that they got. They want a bigger big, right? And rather than going the wing route. And the Lakers, they need wings. And Saddiq Bey, you could probably get pretty cheap. Like, I wouldn't even mind the Lakers. Like, if you can't get Bojan Bogdanovic, go try to get like Alec Burke and Saddiq Bey. Trade Patrick Beverley and go get those two guys. Or add in like a JTA or whatever, or Damian Jones. I'd probably keep Damian Jones for if you need a bigger salary for another. Just so do like whatever, Patrick Beverley or Kendrick Nunn and JTA and Damian Jones. Boom. Now you got those guys. And then maybe go trade a couple pieces for Cam Reddish. And, now you got Cam Reddish, Saddiq Bey, you got 2 young wings, and then go look for like the veterans that could help, right? Like, that could be good. That could be solid. You could realistically do something like that, and you'd still have assets to go get other things. Because no one's giving up a first for Saddiq Bey. So would a second or 2 seconds do it for Saddiq Bey? Maybe. Maybe if you help, unload Alec Burke too. Maybe you could get him too. And then that, like I said, in that case, say Patrick Beverley, JTA for Saddiq Bey and Alec Burke, and then you go get maybe Damian Jones, or you go take Damian Jones and Kendrick Nunn and go get whoever from the Knicks. Go get Cam Reddish or something. But I mean, regardless, Saddiq Bey again, sizable wing, good size, 3-and-D. He had a good showing against the Lakers too the other day. Like, he shot 50% from three, if I'm not mistaken. He was like 4 of 8 from three. So again, a guy that can come in and just be a young spark, a guy that can play both forward spots. He can play the 3, he can play the 4. He hasn't been like a lockdown defender, but he's been serviceable enough. And look what Darvin Ham was able to do with like Russell Westbrook and stuff like that. He's got the size, the athleticism, the strength. He's got everything, right? It's the same thing in logic with Cam Reddish. If you could go get Saddiq Bey and Cam Reddish, that would be beautiful. Because not only would they help now, they would help for the future. The problem is it doesn't help that other guy that the Lakers really need, right? These two would be more of like they'll help now and give us some size, but this is more for the future, right? Because then like 3, 4, 5 years from now, you have Max Christie, Saddiq Bey, and Cam Reddish. Those three as like your future, right? Like you have like a defensive lockdown shooting guard that hopefully can develop a shot in Max Christie. And if he does, he could be scary. Because Max Christie might already be our best defender. Like, he's just so good. And then have Saddiq Bey at the 3. You got a 6'7", 6'8", sizable 3-and-D wing. Cam Reddish at 6'8", on the other forward spot. Boom. So now you got that. Maybe Austin Reeves playing the point. There you go. Now you got a 3-and-D point guard, and then go get like a center, whoever. That could be our young core for the future, right? And then maybe a star comes or something like that sooner or later, and then you go get that. But it'd be a nice sort of round core 3, 4, 5 years from now. But it would also help now because we just need size, right? That's what we need more than anything. And if you could trade a couple guards for size, I wouldn't mind the Lakers going out and getting Saddiq Bey and Cam Reddish, giving it a shot. If it works out, I don't think that they would be much. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not the end of the world. But, we'll see what develops because it looks like Detroit's kind of out of the picture. I don't think the Lakers are going to make a trade for Saddiq Bey just straight by themselves, unless it's just, Detroit's like, we'll just do, we'll give you him for a second. I think they'll shift focus to Cam Reddish. I think Cam Reddish will be the target personally. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. What do you think? Do you think that the Lakers still have a chance to get Bojan Bogdanovic? Do you think that they know they're not going to trade Bojan? Would you like them to trade for Saddiq Bey? Do you think that, hey, go get Saddiq Bey and Alec Burke or something like that? However you feel, let me know. I'd love to hear down.